Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. We're hitting the ground running today, diving straight into the posts, really making waves on X. We're talking big U.S. policy shifts, some mind-blowing tech numbers, and, well, major geopolitical tremors. Get ready. It's going to be fast.
That's the plan. Fast, focused, and context-rich. We're pulling out the key nuggets from, the global hive minds chatter today. No time to waste. Let's jump right in with some massive policy talk.
Okay, first up, wow, straight into the political fire. This one is definitely going to get people talking. Reading the post now, this is from @UnusualWhales. Breaking! Trump administration considers raising retirement age to save Social Security from insolvency per FOX.
Yeah, no kidding. This isn't just political maneuvering. It points to a huge structural problem. The why here is pretty stark. Sources are indicating the Social Security Trust Fund, it's projected to hit insolvency maybe around 2032.
2032, that's not far off.
Not at all. And if nothing changes, well, the projection suggests a 24% benefit cut across the boards. That's based on the latest trustees report.
A 24% cut. That's unthinkable for millions planning their retirement around those benefits. Has anything like this happened before? Raising the age, I mean.
It has, actually. We've done this before.
Yeah.
Back in 1983, the full retirement age was bumped up from 65 to 67.
Right, I remember hearing of that.
And the justification then was rising life expectancy. Today, well, CDC data puts average life expectancy around 77.5 years, which is up from about 74.9 when they made that last change.
So the logic is live longer, work longer. Simple.
Seems simple on the surface, but the counterargument is really critical. Critics are immediately asking, is it fair?
Fair in what sense?
Well, think about it. Not everyone has a desk job. A National Institute on Aging study from a few years back found that about 30% of workers over 62, they're in physically demanding roles.
Construction, manufacturing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For those folks, adding another 2 or 3 years isn't just inconvenient, it might be physically impossible. That's the core of the pushback.
Okay, so a huge pressure point for older workers. But the policy shifts don't stop there, right? We're also seeing something massive on the H-1B visa front.
Oh, absolutely seismic.
Yeah.
This next one deals with the cost for highly skilled workers coming in, and the numbers are, well, eye-watering.
Let me read this. It's sort of a combo from a couple of sources. First, @DisclosetTV says, now Trump signs gold card executive order expediting H-1B visas for a fee up to $2 million and imposing a $100,000 annual sponsorship fee for regular applicants. And then Rampersad it adds this interpretation. H-1B fee of $100,000 is not a one-time fee. It is $100,000 per year, every year. H-1B is dead.
Okay, let's unpack that because it's huge. A $2 million gold card fast track, side by side with a $100,000 annual fee.
Annual, that's the kicker.
That's not just regulation, that's a total overhaul. The old fee structure, it's somewhere between maybe $460 and $4,000, a drop in the bucket, relatively speaking.
So going from $4,000 max to $100,000 a year?
It completely changes the game. The administration's stated goal, of course, is protecting American jobs, curbing perceived abuses.
Right. There were those studies suggesting H-1B workers sometimes earned less, like that 2016 one mentioning a 13% gap in tech.
Exactly. So the argument is this forces companies to hire American first. But the counterpoint is immediate. Does this just make it a system for the super rich companies?
Because only huge corporations could realistically swallow a $100K annual fee per employee, right? What about startups, mid-sized tech?
That's the worry. It could stifle innovation. Remember, a 2019 report actually linked H-1B workers to something like 23% of U.S. patent growth.
So a massive trade-off. Protectionism versus potentially losing that innovation edge.
Precisely. And the immediate ripple effect. Think about Indian IT firms. They rely heavily on H-1Bs. This could basically force them to reroute operations, maybe to Canada or Mexico, where the cost structure is different. It's a huge potential shift.
Okay, shifting gears now. Let's talk tech. And who better to kick us off than Elon Musk with a typically memorable post from @ElonMusk. 1.21 gigawatts of training compute. Actually, slightly more.
Gotta love the Back to the Future reference. Great, Scott.
Exactly. But beyond the movie quote, this is serious muscle, right, for xAI?
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just a fun line. It confirms they're building an absolutely massive compute cluster, likely more than 1.21 gigawatts, as he hints. This lines up with what we're seeing across the industry. Top-tier AI needing these huge data centers, sometimes pushing towards like 6 gigawatts.
6 gigawatts, that's power plant territory. It signals the sheer scale of their ambition.
And the intensity. Remember, this comes not long after reports that Musk gave his XAI team something like a 48-hour deadline to show progress. It's a high-pressure environment.
And they're using cutting-edge tools to get there.
For sure. Things like JAX, Google's framework for high-performance computing, and Clang, which help speed up the AI's inference, especially for reinforcement learning. It's all about scale and speed in this race.
Okay, sticking with Musk's ventures for a second. A routine update from @SpaceX. Watch Falcon 9 launch 24 at Starlink satellites to orbit from California.
Just another Tuesday, right? 24 more join the flock.
The constellation just keeps growing. How many are up there now?
SpaceX has deployed over 7,600 now. It's incredible for expanding internet access globally, reaching places that were previously offline. Huge benefit there.
But there's always a but, isn't there? What's the trade-off?
The trade-off is visibility for astronomers. The International Astronomical Union has been quite vocal, documenting how the brightness and sheer number of these satellites are disrupting telescope observations.
So we get global internet, but it makes it harder to see the stars.
That's the dilemma, basically. A gain in connectivity, but a loss in our view of the cosmos. It's a real concern for the scientific community.
All right, now for something completely different. This sounds like, well, something out of a movie. Platform integrity issues on X. Post here from @GlobalAffairs. X has exposed and is taking strong action against a bribery network targeting our platform. Suspended accounts involved in crypto scams and platform manipulation paid middlemen to attempt to bribe employees to reinstate their suspended accounts.
Wow. A whole bribery ring just trying to get their scam accounts back online. That's bold.
Sounds pretty organized.
It seems like it targets a specific, sophisticated cybercriminal network. Reports link this to a group known as the COM, which itself has ties back to Scattered Spider.
Scattered Spider, I've heard that name. They're known for big SIM swap scams, right? Targeting companies.
Exactly, serious players. And their focus here seems to be crypto fraud. These aren't small-time scammers. Getting those accounts back must be worth a lot. Remember, Europol estimated crypto fraud hit something like $2.6 billion back in 2021? This bribery attempt shows how valuable these platform accounts are to organized cybercrime.
Okay, let's pivot now to geopolitics and how narratives are shaped, often at lightning speed. This next one is really something. It's from @RedWave Press, quoting Timothy Cardinal Dolan on Charlie Kirk. The more I learned about him, I thought this guy is a modern-day St. Paul. He was a missionary, he's an evangelist, he's a hero. He's one, I think, that knew what Jesus meant when he said, the truth will set you free.
Okay. Comparing Charlie Kirk, the conservative activist who was recently assassinated, to St. Paul. That's not just praise. That's elevating his political work instantly to, well, a spiritual plane, almost immediate canonization.
It frames his death, which was September 10th, 2025, as a kind of martyrdom, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That seems to be the intent. Dolan even suggests this framing could, spark renewed interest in Christianity among young people, linking political activism directly to faith.
But that kind of framing must be controversial.
Extremely. It's already generating significant backlash, including from some Catholics pointing out Kirk's own past controversial statements, some critical of the church itself. It just highlights the incredible speed and intensity of how figures are memorialized or vilified in today's climate.
Okay, from political framing to a very stark military and economic reality, let's look at the Russia-Ukraine conflict's impact inside Russia. Post from @ConradMusica. Here's our assessment of Russia's combined refining outages since mid-August. If Ukraine sustains its strike tempo, and all signs point that way, Russia is unlikely to fall back below 30% outages over the next 36 months.
30%. 30% of their refining capacity potentially knocked out for up to half a year. That's huge.
More than just a battlefield problem, then.
Oh, much more. It's a critical blow to their domestic economy. And this assessment isn't just guesswork. It's reportedly backed by satellite data showing 12 refinery hits in just 35 days.
And fixing these complex facilities isn't easy, especially now.
Exactly. Sanctions are biting hard here. Russia lacks easy access to the specialized Western tech and parts needed for repairs. Some analysts think similar damage could take 6, maybe even 12 months longer to fix because of these limitations.
And the timing.
Terrible timing for them. It's hitting right during Russia's harvest season when fuel demand is high. We're already seeing reports of wholesale petrol prices soaring up 54% since January, apparently.
Yeah.
It points to a real internal economic crunch.
Fascinating. Okay, now for a real deep cut into history, challenging how we might think about World War II. This is from @LexFriedman. Here's my conversation with Norman Ohler, a historian and author of Blitzed, Drugs in the Third Reich, a book that investigates the role of psychoactive drugs, particularly stimulants such as methamphetamine, in the military history of World War II.
Yeah, Blitzed is an incredible read. It sheds light on the widespread, almost systematic use of Pervitin, which is basically methamphetamine by the German Wehrmacht.
To boost performance during the Blitzkrieg, right?
Yes, exactly. To enhance endurance, fight fatigue, keep soldiers going during those rapid, relentless advances early in the war.
So it suggests pharmacology was a deliberate part of their military strategy, not just, soldiers trying to cope.
Precisely. Pervitin was commercially available in Germany from 1938. Oler argues its use was a significant, if often overlooked, factor in those initial military successes. It really challenges the traditional narratives about sheer discipline or tactical genius alone, adds a whole new layer.
Okay, let's wrap up with two final posts that touch on the fallout from global conflicts, showing contrasting aspects, strict enforcement, and human solidarity. First, from @JulieKelly2. Turns out 30-year-old graduate student Mahmoud Khalil lied on his green card application related to his involvement in pro-Palestinian groups that would have disqualified him, so a judge just ordered him deported to Syria or Algeria.
Right, this case highlights a much stricter enforcement climate, specifically using provisions from the 1952 Immigration and Nationality Act. His alleged misrepresentation about political affiliations triggered the deportation order. It really underscores the ongoing, often contentious debate about national security criteria in immigration policy.
And then, in stark contrast, this image of global empathy, posted by @RyanRosbiani. A young boy from India, Ahil Izyan, has gone viral after expressing heartfelt solidarity with journalists in Gaza.
Oh, yeah, that little boy dressed in a makeshift press vest. It's incredibly powerful. He's mimicking journalists working under extreme danger.
It's a reminder of the human cost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Reporters Without Borders reports, tragically, 220 journalists killed in Gaza in under 2 years. This boy's act going viral, it just shows how the human stories within these huge geopolitical conflicts resonate across the globe, fostering empathy, even in a child. #ShagOutro back.
Wow. Okay, we covered a lot of ground, and fast. From Social Security's future and that potential $100K H-1B fee, to XAI's gigawatt ambitions, platform bribery rings, and even Pervitin in the Blitzkrieg. Hopefully you feel plugged into the key shifts happening right now.
Definitely. And if you connect the dots, today's vibe really shows a world pulling in different directions. Policy is getting, well, almost transactional look at that H-1B gold card. At the same time, figures get instantly defined, canonized like Kirk, or criminalized like Khalil. Navigating this, it really demands critical thinking more than ever.
Absolutely. And to leave you with something to chew on, we mentioned Hungary designating Antifa as a terror group following the U.S. lead, but Antifa isn't really a formal organization, is it? It's more decentralized, ideological.
Right, which raises a really thorny question. Can our existing legal frameworks designed for organizations effectively tackle an idea? What are the implications when political labels start defining what constitutes terrorism? Something to think about.
Keep learning, keep questioning. We'll be back tomorrow with the next Daily Vibecasting.